No, Shudu. Plenty to sink our teeth into there. It's now 3-2. Meanwhile, it's a best of 3 now for the Wild and the Stars. They play Thursday at the slot machine. Twins snap their losing skid. That magical 2-hour barrier has been broken in the marathon. And the Run for the Roses is this weekend, along with the Power Trip morning shows golf opener. All of that and more to get to. Where do we start? Only the Wheel of Topic knows.
Commons Golf Game.
Let her rip.
What did you shoot today?
I shot at 88-0.
Where'd we play?
I played at Loggers Trail.
Where'd you hit it on?
Just
one?
Absolutely hit a piercing drive. I mean, you talk, nobody can hit the ball. McIlroy can't hit it straighter. Schauffele can't hit it straighter. Scheffler can't hit it straight. They may hit it further, but perfectly straight is perfectly straight.
How far from the green?
I was between a 7 and an 8, and I decided to hit a soft 7, which was a mistake because I gave up on it a little bit, and I ended up just right on the green again. Front, I think it was a front pin.
Then what?
And it was tucked to the right, so I had no green to work with. And my short game has just been a mess. Yeah, short game, I have no short game. But I actually was able to release the club and knocked it on the green. The only problem was that generally from there, when I'm playing like I'm capable of, that's a 4. Matter of fact, I might even go in for a 3. I hit it 15 feet by and
then what?
2-putted for bogey.
Well, there's that.
I made the greatest bogey in the history of or greatest par in the history of number 11 at Loggers Trail today. So I shoot 40 on the front, make a bad bogey on 10. I left it above the pin. And I thought I hit it soft. They had just mowed. I barely touched it. It went 8-10 feet by, and I missed it coming back. And I went and put it back again to try it again, and I even barely touched it. It still went a couple feet by. So I get to 11. And you know where the foundation is there, the old barn foundation? Yeah. And there's a tree. And I decided I got the wind now helping me. And I'm hitting the driver like a tour pro, right? When I hit the driver, it's not unlike that. It's an experience that's not unlike that of a tour pro. So I decided I'm going to really go after this, and I'm going to hit this big draw around the corner. I'm going to have flip wedge into the green. My ball ended up going about the distance of a flip wedge. I hit a low line drive, ankle high. It hit the foundation and kicked back towards me. No! And if it wasn't for a controlled burn that they did with the tall prairie grass, I would have been lost. But they had recently burned it, so I'm like a foot into the where the tall prairie grass would have been. So I've got to lie. It's really not that bad, but there's there's ash and cinders and the whole thing sitting there. So I take a hybrid, my 17 degree, and I say I'm just going to try to step on it. And I got a tip from Master Pro. I went. When I asked Master Professional Craig Warrior, hey, this is what's happening. My ball is doing this. What am I doing wrong? And last year, this happens all the time. I'm hitting these weak, low right hybrids, right? And he said, slower arms, quicker wrists. So in other words, I've been going too fast, so take it back slow. But then when you get there at the impact, go after it, right? So I've been doing that now, and I'm hitting the hybrids well. I pound one to 137. I got 137. I hit it to 8 feet, and I make the putt. And I'm thinking, I'm hitting the foundation, and it's bouncing back at me. How do you make 4 out of that?
It's hard to make 4 with a good drive.
Exactly. And so and then I had another par that I had no business making either. So on number 4. Number 4, you always end up right, right?
Very familiar with the trees on the right there.
Well, I hit it right as well, but what they've done there at Loggers is always improving the golf course. They built some grass bunkers over there deeper so that the balls won't just hit the hard pan and bounce out of play, right? I get a really good break. I've got a clear look. But now I've still got, I don't know, I didn't even check the yardage. It's everything in my bag, right? And that the fairway and then the approach on the left, you want to hit it in front of the green. You want to hit it on the left side so it kicks left to right onto the green, right? So I got hybrid in my hand. I don't see the pin. I just know where to hit. I hit it, and I thought I hit it pretty good, but I thought, well, probably going to be short. I get up there, 12 feet from the hole. I mean, it was it was an incredible golf shot, and I 2-putted for par there. So the short game is still bad. A couple of pitches, took me 2 to get out of the bunker on 17. I was lucky to make 5 there. But I'll play 2 more rounds before I get north of that Anoka County line on Thursday. My problems are going to be behind me. So it's all starting to round into shape, Tennessee, pardon the pun. When are you going to get to play with me again? Or don't
I haven't played at all. I'm just waiting when I play, period. I had a round scheduled for, was that a week?
Yeah.
A Saturday, week and a half ago, and it was going to be like potentially snowing that morning. Said, I'm out.
Can't you tell your wife it's a mental health thing? I mean, look, you've got separate bank accounts. Can't you just pay somebody once a week to watch the kids or do whatever you have to do in the morning that you can't go golf? Can't you do that? You got money. Can you make that last? To play golf once a week? You need just once a week. You need that you love to play. You need that for mental health.
It'll be easier once the kids are out of school.
Well, yeah, but you'll be 65 years old at that. You mean, out for the summer?
Yeah.
I see.
Kids on the bus. Okay. They'll all be going to the same location.
Oh.
Once you get to the summer, and you can also bring them there earlier.
Okay.
Whereas right now, I got kids that get on the bus at 8:45.
Oh, okay.
They have to be around for, and wife's got to get to work.
Okay, I get it. Because I feel bad for you. I know how much you love the game. I don't feel as bad for you as I do for the Wolves. That's they poked asleep. They poked the hibernating bear. You had to throw that little layup at the end of the game, didn't you? Game 4. Let's rub their noses in a little bit, and the Nuggets come back with a vengeance. It's now 3-2, and still no Ant. And obviously no DiVincenzo. We'll get into that and other topics as well. Peek at the purple, other side of the break. That's brought to you by our friends at All Elements. That and so much more coming up with Tennessee in Common on the Common Man program on the Fan.
Hey, the Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword win at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. That keyword is win. Enter now at KFAN.com.
I like this. Happy.
KFAN welcomes some great shows to Mystic Lake Amphitheater. 311 and Dirty Heads will be there July 11th. Five Finger Death Punch on August 18th. And Slayer on September 4th. Get the complete details on all of our upcoming shows on the concert page at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
My favorite Slayer song is I'll Just Have to Say I Love You in a Song. It's so good. Because sometimes the words just came out wrong. So I'll have to say I love you in a song. Great song by Slayer. Before we start, 534.
Not 534.
No, I'm sorry. You know what I mean.
You get the purple.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. Text message comes in that says, Common, I admittedly don't care one iota about golf, but after last night's T-Wolves lashing, I found your stroke-by-stroke rehashing of your game this morning oddly therapeutic. Thank you, Naomi in Orono. And Naomi, you're welcome. I think a lot of people feel the same way. I was much more effective on the golf course today than the Wolves were on the hard court last night. And they said all the right things. Oh, it's not us. It's not them. It's us. It was what we didn't do. To me, that raises eyebrows when you're, they had nothing, that year, I think you're a little bit of denial. When you turn the ball over 25 times, it's not just you being sloppy. You were forced into turnovers. I think that we'll see if they're feeling it on. Obviously, it's a big. When do they play again? Is it Thursday or Friday? It's a big game. Obviously, 3-2. You don't want to go back to the Mile High City. Because then you got jet lag, circadian rhythms. You have time zone change. You have jet lag, and then of course the dreaded altitude. I'm about to say something controversial.
That's interesting.
Romney. Let's go ahead and do a little peek at the purple. It's brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric, Affordable-Electric. And as I mentioned before, Affordable-Electric is taking $500 off service panel upgrades, and you may qualify for utility rebates as well. There are some eligibility requirements. They do apply, but find out. Give them a call at 612-331-VOLT or text them 612-331-VOLT or visit affordable-electric.com, affordable-electric.com. Oh, shockingly affordable. Can it be? It's some breaking news regarding the Minnesota Vikings. A certain and current 49ers wide receiver is paying a visit to the Minneapolis. Is that what you were telling me?
Adam Schefter reporting that 49ers free agent wide receiver JaJuan Jennings is visiting tonight and Wednesday with the Minnesota Vikings, per source.
Didn't he play for the Packers for years and years and years? I thought he'd already retired.
That was a different Jennings who also played for us.
Oh.
He might live here, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I thought maybe he did settle here locally after.
I guess you'd have to ask PA. He probably texts and talks with him more than most people know. What do you know about JaJuan Jennings' name, rank, serial number? Is he what, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being he's Jets, 1 he's Troy Williamson? Where would you put him?
I'd put him in like the 7 range.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a quality receiver. I'm actually surprised that it's April 28th and he's still not on a roster, to be honest with you, because it wasn't a strong free agent wide receiver class to begin with.
Okay.
And I figured he might be somewhat near the top of that list and hasn't found a home yet for whatever reason. So I really had never heard his name until a couple of years ago.
Nor had PA until somebody told him that at the new Winter Park that they were going to bring him in for free.
That's funny. This is a name that PA mentioned before free agency.
Is that funny?
So that's funny how that works.
Yeah.
He kept mentioning him as a guy he'd like to see the Vikings pursue.
Of course. He couldn't pick him out of a lineup and had no idea anything about it. That's okay.
But I mean, JaJuan Jennings, I don't believe he was like highly regarded out of college. He was behind Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk for so long on the depth chart. And then, Deebo started getting some injuries and Brandon Ayuk started getting some injuries. Obviously, Deebo's no longer there. And Ayuk probably going to be gone soon, too. But in 2024, so 2 seasons ago, he caught 77 balls for 975 yards and 6 touchdowns. So a pretty quality season.
Yeah, that's some good productivity out of a wideout.
And it was kind of thought of that he was going to be their number 1 receiver last year. Now, I think he was battling a bunch of injuries last year. He ended up playing 15 games, but I felt like he was never 100% healthy. He ended up with 55 catches, 643 yards, and scored 9 touchdowns. So for a guy who's going to be, I think he's a much better third wide receiver than we've had here in a long time. I would take him as an upgrade over Jalen Naylor. And a guy that if Justin Jefferson or Jordan Addison gets hurt, or in Addison's case, suspended, I think JaJuan Jennings is going to be a much more capable fill-in for those two than what we've had in the last couple of years.
So he'll be here tonight.
If he signs, I should say.
My guess is they'll probably take him out to Manny's. Then they might actually. Why would they just take him over to Kindred Hearth, which is over at TCO at the new Winter Park? Have you ever eaten at Kindred Hearth?
No, I have not.
Really good food. They have a Korean bent to it where they have, and then I can't remember the name of the chef that runs the place, but she's kind of known for her wood-fired pizzas. They're really good. Really good. They have a flank steak that's to die for, man. I like the.
Is it the best meal Rosen's ever had in Minnesota?
Well, if Rosen was going to take him out to eat, he'd probably go to Perkins. That's where he would take him tonight because he loves Perkins. You just can't get enough of Perkins. Alec Lewis, who writes for The Athletic, did a piece today, analysis. Who will be the Vikings' next general manager? The 11 most likely candidates. Other than Rob Brzezinski, tend to be, I don't know any of these names. I just don't know. I barely know names of players on the rosters of teams, much less their front office people. You got Brzezinski. Then you got a guy named Brian Stark, Raiders assistant GM. Eddie Dodds, Colts assistant GM. Chad Alexander, Chargers assistant GM. Reed Burkhart, Broncos assistant GM. You see a thread here? They're all assistant GMs. But Ryan Cowden of the Patriots, he's VP of player personnel. Terrence Gray, Bills assistant GM. James Lipford, Texas assistant GM. John McKay, Rams assistant GM. Andy Weidel, Steelers assistant GM. Trey Brown, Bengals assistant GM. None of the names. I don't know where they've been, where they're. Oh, I know where they are.
It sounds like Alec just flipped through NFL media guides.
That's what he might have done. We know that's how the Twins found their front office personnel a few years back. But, Timmy, I know you don't have any inside information, I don't think. But what does your gut tell? Do you think it's possible that Brzezinski is going to get the job? They're going to say, Rob, we're going to give you an opportunity. I think they're going to give Rob every opportunity.
I think Kevin O'Connell is going to champion Rob.
Okay.
So I think he's going to have KOC on his side because Rob Brzezinski in that role means KOC and even B-Flow while he's here and under contract. That was the one most noticeable thing about the draft is people keep talking about how the Vikings reach for a bunch of players. The Vikings weren't picking the best players out there. They were picking the best fits for their team.
Yeah.
B-Flow was picking guys that he thinks fits his style of defense.
Correct.
That wouldn't necessarily be drafted elsewhere. And to me, that it reeked of a draft of these are KOC and B-Flow's guys.
Yeah. I wouldn't disagree.
So therefore, they are going to be like, oh yeah, we'd love to have Rob here because we'll have more power. In our roster.
I wouldn't disagree with you. And it's that age-old debate, and I don't want to dive too deep into it here, but best player available or Fitz, not Fitzpatrick. I just mean or the player that fits. And you've heard me say this many, many times. If the best player available you truly believe is available, but that's at a position of strength for you, and there's a guy that you think is close to that, like the second or third best player in the draft, that's at a position of need. I go with position of need. And, where the Vikings are right now, O'Connell, highly regarded. He was coach of the year 2 years ago. But Tenneby, he in his 4 years, he's been to the playoffs twice, and he's 0-2 in the playoffs. How long can that track record continue before the Wilfs go, we love you, and we really think you're hip, you're with it, and wow, but we got to move on to a different guy. So sometimes what's the word I'm looking for? The idea of where you are and what you need to be do changes depending upon what you feel like your employment situation is, right? I don't think O'Connell's on the hot seat, but let's say, for instance, they were to make the playoffs and lose again in the first round. Now you're 0-3 in the playoffs. Or don't make the playoffs at all. And then it's all of a sudden, I think the Wills, at least at that point, have to go, pull a PA, but we'll see. There's Peek at the Purple, brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. For all of your electrical needs, affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric.com. I received an interesting invitation, and I'll explain on the side of the break. Common Man program right here in the Fan.
Playoff time calls for Carboni's Pizza, game day fuel since 1954. Fuel your Game 6 playoff party Thursday night by ordering at carbonispizza.com.
I think Nordo is about to deliver you a message that he just delivered to me. Renovation continues not only at Winter Park, but here at Common Man World headquarters, iHeartRadio Minneapolis. They're laying down some new carpet. And Nordo just ducked his head in here as he's getting ready to leave for the day. And Nordo says, are you okay being in here for the next 30 to 45 minutes? Because you're not going to be able to leave and go anywhere because they're going to be laying down carpet. I go, what if I got to go to the bathroom? He said, can you go in a paper cup? And I said, I've used a red Solo cup before. So I said, can you go get me a cup? And he turned around, and we have one of those, hey, Culligan, man. Not Culligan, but what is it we have?
That's Culligan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Those like jugs?
Yeah, the water. And he handed me the cups. These cameras on right now? Because I might have to urinate in a cup.
Yeah.
Do you think that's just really disgusting? But what do you do? What? I'm not going to pee my pants.
Yeah, you said, what do I do if I have to go to the bathroom? And I'd say when.
Well, that's it.
What do I do when?
They said a half hour to 45 minutes.
Which means an hour in construction terms.
Right. Can I hold my urine? Can I make it last?
There's no way to sneak around?
No, apparently not. Now, I don't have to go right now. I don't have to go right now.
We should have gone out and emptied the bladder now.
Well, yeah, but I don't have to go right now at all. I mean, because I went just before the show, and I was probably good. I got bigger problems.
Have you not gone the show yet?
No.
Oh, yeah, you're in trouble.
I've got bigger problems. You know that flesh-eating bacteria I had on my fingers for 2 years? It was just awful, right? I mean, big, thick, scaly on my right hand, and then it would crack and bleed. And I had to wrap up all my fingers before I play golf. I mean, it's constant. It would never go away. I'd put all sorts of ointments on it, A&D and whatever, and it would get a little better. It would look like, hey, it's finally there. And then boom, it would hit me again. So I went and saw a dermatologist that Sheldon recommended, and he gave me a different type of steroid medication, and it's almost completely gone. But I now also have Notalgia paresthetica. Do you have itchy back? Anybody? Does your back ever itch?
No.
Mine never did either, but I have something that's basically it's itchy back syndrome, but it's technically called Notalgia paresthetica, if that's how you pronounce it. And it can affect people of any age, race, or gender. Because it's not fully understood, it's not certain what causes it or whether the same cause is true for everyone with the condition. May be caused by a glitch in the nerve cells that transmit feeling in the skin of the upper back. May be hereditary. Some medical researchers suggest that it is the result of an underlying compression problem in the vertebrae. The good news is that this condition is not a progressive illness. It will not get worse, but on the other hand, it won't get any better. I'm itching all the time. It's a quality of life. How
long has this been going on for?
About a year now. And
how long were your finger stuff going on for?
That was a couple of years. And this dermatologist tell me if it becomes unbearable, I mean, I got to scratch all the time. Now, there are times like when I'm playing golf, you forget about it. You can't feel it as much. It waxes and it wanes. You can he's prescribed a pretty strong, it's not, you don't put Jergens lotion on it. That ain't going to do nothing. There's a stronger than that. And it works. It feels better for a while. You can put it on 3 or 4 times a day. But then I can't reach that part of the back most of the time. My wife has been my lovely wife Potato's been putting it on my back in the morning because it's just, and there ain't no cure for the summertime blues and there ain't no cure for this. It's a quality of life thing. It's and I probably deserve it. I would come in. It's God for something I've done wrong in my life. And it's,
is it Avatar?
I don't know if it is or not, but it's just annoying as heck. I mean, right now I feel like I could go up and before I knew what it was, I used to scratch it so bad to it almost bleed because it would, how when you have a real bad itch and you scratch it, it feels really good. And it happens to about 8% of people, so I'm not alone there, but it won't get better. Now, it won't go away. There's no cure for it. Unless it says if it gets so bad you can't stand it anymore, then you can have surgery. They'll do the MRIs and all that to see if there is an impingement in your nerve back there. And in reading about it, it says it can be a problem if you have an impingement in your T2 to your T6. And I had that years and years and years ago. I had a twisted T2 vertebrae, and I've got chiropractic care, acupuncture, TENS machine, ARP wave. And I've never felt, but now I still have the shoulder problem, but I ARP it and it's fine. But now I think I have, and think about it, and Mark Rosen is better than he's ever been. See, it's just the opposite. As I get older, I get all these maladies. I have maladies that I don't know what, maladies and allergies. There was a song by Paul Simon called Allergies, a really good song, but it was never a hit. So So, but I'm a tough guy. I'll live with it. I don't want to.
What has the doctor said about it?
Well, that's what I told you.
Yeah.
It's probably a nerve impingement. You can do some exercises where, like, you get one of those foam thoracic rollers, which I already have, and you roll. If you stretch, maybe the impingement goes away a little bit. Now he wants me to put the same cream I was using on my fingers. He wants me to use on my back, but all that will do is take that awful, because you scratch it so much, and I haven't scratched it in a long time now. I am so tempted to, when you put that towel on your back after a shower.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I just want to go after it hard, but I can't. So, so what will I have next? Because I think I have African sleeping sickness too. So I have all sorts of things. How much can a man endure? Now, here's this is what you tell yourself when you have something it's, I guess, in the grand scheme of life, it's still something relatively minor, even though it bugs the heck out of me. It's better than having, pancreatic cancer stage 4, right? So we'll continue to,
Still a nuisance.
Yeah, it's a nuisance, and it is a quality of life thing. So we'll just see it as it progresses, and I will update you.
I can't wait.
As time goes by. Well, you could at least have some empathy for me. I received a text message earlier today. And it reads as follows. You are cordially invited to participate in the Program Password Invitational. The tournament will take place in May and June. I will reach out via email to see which dates will not work for you. Let me know if you're interested in participating. I think at this time, I think it was Lyndon Baines Johnson. Do you know who Lyndon Baines Johnson was?
I believe he was once a president of this great nation.
He took over for JFK after he was assassinated. And then he ran again in 1964, and he won. And then he beat Barry Goldwater. And then he said before 60, he said, I will not accept or run for fame. I can't remember exactly how he said it, but he will not. And I think I will not accept the invitation to participate. And do you know why? Oh, my gosh. It doesn't stimulate me intellectually anymore, Program Password. It just doesn't do anything for me. I wish it did. But there's just, I need something like the initials game that will stimulate me intellectually. So remember I told you I was going to quit doing Wordle because it's too easy? Well, I was tempted last night, so I dialed. Did you do Wordle yesterday?
Yeah, I do it every day.
This is how bad I am. I
wanted to say something on the air yesterday about how it was going to be tricky, but then I thought I would be leading you on.
But no, I knew what the word was, but when I put it in and before I hit, where you hit send or whatever it is,
you
right?
hit the wrong letter?
Well, no. Oh. I looked at it, I said, that word's not, I knew it was Erie, but I said, that's not spelled that way. And so then I dismissed it as the word, and I should have just hit whatever that.
Were you thinking of Erie as in Lake Erie?
No. Oh. I was just thinking of something Erie, but you know how you look at a word, it just didn't look right. Yeah. It didn't look like it was E-R-I-E, and I just thought, that's not the way it's spelled. And so then I passed on it, and I tried a bunch of other things, and it came up. And then when I went to the restaurant, so it was one of those where I had it, and I should have just went for it, and I didn't. So
it was a nice run.
Yeah, and I'd been on a really nice run. I hadn't lost in year, month, week, at least the last 13, 14 times. But so Program Password. So
you're turning it down?
No, I suppose I'll play. I mean, I almost have to, don't I? I feel sorry for the sucker that gets paired with me. Now, how are we doing the pairings this year?
I think I'm just going to do it like last year where I just picked the teams.
Okay.
But if you want to, throw a bribe my way.
No, I don't care.
I could set you up with a certain teammate.
I just couldn't remember how we did it because I know we've done it a couple of different ways, I think. I think you did let people pick teams first time, right? You got to pick the person?
No, first time I think I picked.
Okay.
I think the only time I haven't picked is we did like a draft one year.
Oh, okay. That's right. We did a draft. I remember that now. And you have to remind me how many teams? 8 teams? Or
hoping to have 8 teams.
8 teams. So 16 participants. Any invitations go out to newcomers, or is that is it all people that have played before?
I haven't actually sent out a full 16 invitations yet. I think I've sent out about 13, 14. So I have a couple in mind, but you got to make sure it's people that can like be here,
Right. Well, yeah.
and attend all the time. And I was unsure if Max was going to perform a play because he's fighting through the wire right now with the jaw injury, but it sounds like he is going to.
What the hell happened? Did he have a bike accident?
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
That's what Deuce told me. Deuce told me he got
Broken
a bike.
jaw.
Yeah, and he was really depressed about it, as you would be.
It sounds like he's going to play, but I'm guessing it's going to be, he's going to have some rubber between the teeth. It's going to be hard for him to be as loud as he typically is.
Well, I think what we'll need is whoever his partner is will have to know sign language because he's probably not going to be able to talk, so they're going to have to do the sign language. This is
Yeah, I've been a little behind on it. Today was the first day we sent out some invites. Then once we get 16 participants, we'll try to figure out who can play when and try to form some teams in a bracket.
This is a highly desirable and coveted invitation, isn't it? I mean, there are people out there now. You threw out, well, I've got about 13, 14, but I got some more. Think about there are people, I wonder if I'm going to get invited. And then if they're left out, do you think that could cause some...
Oh, there's been some bitterness before.
With the people that you didn't invite that became bitter?
Yeah.
Are you on speaking terms with them, or is that over now? I mean, how badly did it put a divide in the relationships you had with those people?
Well, I mean, one was Rosen. So the first year he wasn't invited, I think he was a little taken because he had stopped playing Password.
Yeah.
And wasn't working on Fridays anymore with us. So
yeah.
Then he didn't get the invite, and he was like thrown off by not getting the invite.
My boss had the same thing. He got an injection after all kinds of different therapy, and he doesn't itch anymore at all, and it's a really expensive injection. But he said he'd pay it all over again. I've got a joint checking account. Text me back if you're interested. Is it heroin? Because I'm not interested in an injection.
Can't you just do like an injection endorsement?
I don't know. I don't. Now here someone says, can we get an update on the elevated scrotum? It's still elevated. I do wash the rolled up pair of white athletic socks regularly. They'll tend to yellow a little bit, but that's a whole nother thing. Here's one that says, the Common Man program is an itch you just can't scratch. Now they're having laughs at my expense. Leaves me scratching my head.
It's all funny till we're your age.
Yeah.
And then those maladies
exactly
are happening
right.
to us.
Here's another. Have you considered organizing a 5K or half marathon to fund research for your malady? I do that. It doesn't sound like there's a cure for it. It sounds like you can minimize it, but they don't know how to get rid of the itch.
There ain't no cure for the summertime blues.
Oh, I tell you what, I could just tear into that bad boy right now. It would feel so good. There was even a while where I was taking a belt, one of those, not a leather belt, but one of those kind of flexible ones. You know what I'm talking about? That kind of made of weave and knit. I just would oh man, would it feel good? I'd love to do that right now. Here's another one that says, Common, you're starting to sound like Job in the Bible. I think it means you will be blessed at some point. I would like that. I could use a blessing or two. I would like that. Here's one. No itch is worse than scabies. Before I knew hot water was bad, taking warm shower felt like I was yeah, well, I will tell you that I thought it was scabies at first. And then I thought it was rabies. And then I thought I had rabies and scabies at the same time. And you don't want either one of those. So, you wouldn't. I mean, again, I am asking for sympathy. Will you empathize with me? It's awful. But maybe I have to do this. Yeah, I'll do pretty much anything at this point. Anything.
Well, yeah, if it's nonstop.
Oh, it's nonstop.
Yeah.
It doesn't go
on
away.
the daily.
On the daily double. But there's that.
I contemplated not bringing this up because it's just going to ruin your inbox for the rest of the day.
Okay.
Because it's very controversial and a lot of conspiracies get thrown out regarding this.
Okay.
But the reason I was asking about when and how long you've had it is I feel like since COVID, there's been like a lot of mysterious nerve stuff people have gotten that like doctors don't have answers for yet. And sure, go ahead and throw the vaccine conspiracies out on the text message group. I feel like there might be some long-term stuff with COVID that we just still don't have a grasp
That
of
could
yet.
be. That could be.
Might have zero association at all, but
Well, it could be, but I think this diagnosis is, I think it's spot on, because when I look it up, it's everything I have. It even says, it goes, I have a constant itch on my back as well. I might have missed it, but is yours on the right side? I had also heard it might be a pinched nerve of some sort. It says it is on one side. It is on my right side, though there is a little spot on my left side. But it says it's basically on the right side. It's on
it's from
one
a
side
pinched
of the
nerve.
back. Well, that's what
does your golf playing contribute to the pinched nerve?
But that's what I was trying. That's what you must not have been listening.
Well, I was.
I had golfing, hitting balls at the range many years ago, 10, 12 years ago, maybe even longer than that. I bet 15 years ago, hitting balls. It was one of those where I was hitting off the AstroTurf that was on cement.
Yeah.
And I was going after pretty hard because I was kind of bitter about my game. And it twisted my vertebrae to the point 4 days later I couldn't even turn. I've since then undergone all sorts of rehabilitation. I've done the ARP wave. I've gotten to the point where it doesn't bother me much. Now, during the winter when I'm not playing golf, if I'm going to reach up to a counter,
Yep.
I can feel it right inside that shoulder, but then after it loosens up, it's fine. And like when I play golf, when I play every day, it loosens it up. Right now, I feel nothing in my
I have
shoulder.
a little twinge in my shoulder.
Yeah,
too.
see, mine doesn't, I feel nothing in there anymore. Right now, I've been ARPing it every day on a regular basis, doing my Statue of Liberty exercise, and it's perfect. So I have no pain, no sorrow, pain and constant sorrow, and it's good. So I don't know, but maybe there is a, someone says, I have a wooden back scratcher. It works great. I don't want to scratch my back anymore. You don't want it. That inflames it and gets this ugly looking scaly thing on your back. I don't want it. I don't want to scratch. I'd love to, but I can't. This one says, that's not an itch. That's the feeling of you carrying the rest of the KFAN staff on your back. Well, that could be it too, I suppose. Here's one. The only conspiracy is how we all keep listening to this show, even though we are losing brain cells. Yeah, well, whatever. I'll keep at it. Someone said, are we going to talk more Vikings or Wolves? They're not that interested. Well, we're going to talk some Wolves. We got 3 hours here. We're down to 2 now. I didn't watch the whole game. I shut her down after halftime. You could see the writing on the wall. Without Ant and without, when I was setting up Wheel of Topics, I blamed it on McDaniel for poking the bear. He had to do the oldest, put the little layup in when the game was already over, and then Joker sprinted down the court as only he can. And he had a confrontation with McDaniel, and McDaniel grabbed him by the jersey. I know that's not what happened in the game. I just thought I'd say that to see if I could reel anybody in. It's just hard without defense. When you're missing your starting backcourt, and, look, we love Io. He's got talent there. And Bones is a good player. They've got other guys that can play. And I would not be surprised at all if the Wolves close it out. When did they play? I didn't check the schedule. Is it Thursday or is it Friday?
They play Thursday night.
Thursday night. Same night as the Wild, right?
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if they close it out on Thursday night at home. Denver doesn't seem to be. They seem to be defanged a little bit. My theory on it yesterday was, and I really believe there's some truth to this, and I know the basketball community will deny it, but I think because in an 82-game schedule, there are many games where teams aren't interested in playing defense, so Denver's offense runs like a well-oiled machine, and they think they had the best offensive efficiency in the league, if I'm not mistaken. And you go, wow, they're really good offensively. And then they don't have to play much defense themselves because they're outscoring teams by leaps and bounds. Well, then all of a sudden, the Wolves, who when they want to, they're one of the better defensive teams in the league, they tell me, and they've decided to play get-in-your-face defense, and Denver just doesn't know what to do. It's like, well, wait a minute. No one's been doing this to us all year. They can't cope with it, and then they don't know how to play defense themselves. So, but when you're missing Edwards and DiVincenzo, they've got their work cut out for them. And even if they do get through that first round 10-B, which I think they can, they're going to, I don't know who they'll have. Will it be
Probably San Antonio.
Yeah, and again,
You have to somehow scrounge up away against Denver, and then you just try to survive as long as you can, because at some point in that series against San Antonio, Ant might be back.
yes, he
But
might be back.
You just have to make sure you're not so far out of it.
Yeah.
You just kind of hang around in that series.
That when they say he could be out for weeks, that's very.
Well, yesterday they said week to week.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Now they say week to week. They said weeks at first, and they went to week. So yeah, maybe. I mean, certainly, the chances are much better if they have a healthy Anthony Edwards. And then even if he comes back, how healthy will he be? Right? You know, it's like a lot of guys come back from injury, but they're not 100%. But I guess a 75% Ant given 110% would make him at 85%, and then you'd probably have better chances. Let's pause. Come back when we do. We've got a little 5-3-4 for you. Teddy, you got a tease, please?
yeah, the Twins offense is back.